Hello, Wiffle Nation, and welcome back to the Huntington Wiffle League podcast, episode 34. Andrew Westcott was supposed to be joining me as a co-host, but he's been unavailable. So with me is Anthony Stidham. Anthony, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. What's up?
Oh, man. Good. How are you doing?
I am living the dream, buddy.
Awesome.
Call me Matthew McConaughey over here, Livin.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you were able to fill in such short notice. You're such a professional. Appreciate it, buddy. Joining us today, we got a very special guest, Jim Bryant from Cincinnati Wiffleball League. He'll be kicking off our consecutive series of outside the league guest hosts or guests that we have for the podcast to focus on something besides the Huntington Wiffleball League and kind of get some knowledge about some leagues that we find interesting that are either similar to ourselves or are just interesting leagues in general. So I can't think of a better league to kick this off with. So we'll have that to look forward to. We're doing that all winter long from now through January. For a complete list of guests, you can go to the website at huntingtonwiffleball.com to see who's up next. All right, and when we come back, we will be talking to Jim from Cincinnati Wiffleball League. I trust everyone had a good Thanksgiving holiday. I know I did. Some of you may already know this, but the HWL is a league that I started with Greg in 2012, and the blueprint for that was basically taking things that we liked from a bunch of other leagues and creating this Frankenstein's monster. This is evident especially in our rule book, but since then there have been some great leagues to come and go, and many of them are not so different from us. And the guest today runs the league that is the closest proximity to ours, about 3 hours away, just downriver from us. And then began in 2013. The Greater Cincinnati Wiffleball League was founded by Josh Hine, Mark Clayton, and Jim Bryant. Jim is with us today. How you doing today, Jim?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Doing good.
Hey, man. But every time I listen to an episode where a commissioner or a well-known figure from a league is on a podcast for the first time, kind of outside their bubble, people always start with the same old question, and I really can't think of a better place to start besides, what got you into wiffle ball? Tell us your story.
Well, for me, I started playing back when I was a kid, back when I was a teenager, because I grew up in a little town called Mount Orab, Ohio. And me and my best friend Chad and my older brother Kevin and a lot of the other kids around the neighborhood would gather at my house, and we would play, pick up games. We'd play one-on-one. We'd play, we'd set up teams. And one year, each year in the summer, we had our own tournament. So for me, it started then. And then when I became an adult, I started playing softball all the time. And then when I played softball for about 16 years. My last year of softball was in 2012. And then in 2013, it was a conversation between me and Mark and our friend Josh and a few other guys. We got to reminiscing about wiffle ball when we were kids. And that conversation took place in June of 2013, and by August, the league had started.
Awesome.
So it happened really quick. It went from a few of us getting together on Wednesday evenings at a park here in northern Kentucky, and more guys would start showing up to play, to the point where I think on one particular night we had like 14 guys out there playing. And that's when it really started, the seed started to get planted that we could really legitimately start a league. So,
cool.
and like I said, it started from there.
So you guys just sort of came up with that on your own, just based out of nostalgia, rather than seeing some other league and going, we could do that. Because a lot of leagues start like that, so you guys just started kind of without being inspired by another league.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, once the idea started, when we started talking about it, then I started to get online and started searching for the leagues.
Yeah.
I came across your guys' league. I came across one in particular was Potomac Wiffleball League in D.C. I was really impressed by what they did. And then So we kind of like you guys did. We kind of took ideas from other leagues that we saw, and then kind of gave our own little twist on it.
Yeah.
And morphed into what we do today.
All right, so Jim, you said that you took some of your ideas in your all's league off the internet, searching some other leagues. So obviously you guys are active on Facebook and Twitter and other things like that, but there's not a Greater Cincinnati Wiffleball League site. Why is that?
Well, when we first started, we used the website. We used it for the first year, but what I discovered, because basically running the league is a one-man show. It's me and me and me. All the stuff that's done online is done by me. And what we discovered is we really didn't need the website, because everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So it just everybody was going to the Facebook page for all the information on the league.
Right.
And the league, when from April through October, the league is basically a part-time job for me. Because like I said, I'm the guy basically doing 98% of the work. So not having a website is one less thing for me to worry about. I have just enough time to worry about keeping the Facebook page updated. I'm really bad about keeping our Twitter page updated, although I try. But it just from convenience standpoint, it was just easier just to do a Facebook page and not worry about the website.
Well, I follow your guys' page, and I have to commend you on keeping up. You say you're kind of don't do as much as you should, but I'm telling you, I kind of look forward to your updates weekly, because you guys have your weekly league. So, and we're monthly currently, so it's cool for me to check in on you guys and kind of get my wiffle ball fix when we're not playing. So, very good job on the Facebook page for sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. You guys are definitely supplementing the lack of a website with social media. And a long time ago, when I ran the Rifflers Digest and I was a lot more involved with the NWLA website and everything, I was always on the prowl for new leagues and stuff. And MySpace, like in 2009 and 10, 11, around that time, a bunch of leagues just had a MySpace page. That's just, you can't really get info out on that kind of platform. And Facebook with a page, you're getting closer and closer to where if they really kind of open some things up a little bit more, it could get to a point to where some leagues may not even need an actual website. They just use social media. So
yeah, I'm really jealous. I love I've seen your guys' website. It's great. Super jealous of how Potomac does theirs.
Mm-hmm. You just pay someone to do it. That's what they did.
almost MLB level website.
Yeah, right.
They pay for it for sure.
I wish I had that kind of time. And to do a website like that, I think it'd be really neat. I'd love to be able to kind of go back and have the past leaders and the records and all that stuff. I wish I could do all that, but I really don't.
It's a lot of
work to do it.
Yeah, man. Okay, so there was another league in Cincinnati. I don't think they're around anymore. It was ran by Aaron Torchio and Kevin Haynes. Pretty sure Aaron, at least, was in your league at one point.
He was.
And that other league was called Cincinnati Wiffleball Club, and we always made fun of them all the time because it's not a league; it's a club. Was there any affiliation there, especially early on while you guys were getting started? Or I'm not sure which is first, honestly, CWBC or you guys. But regardless of that, was there some sort of affiliation there?
No, they were first. When they said they were a club, that's literally what they were. They were just a bunch of guys that would get together once or twice a week and just play wiffle ball, just for fun. And they had their website, and I know they played in some of the national tournaments. I know they played in Columbus, and I think they played once in the NWLA. But they came in. They came into my league in 2015 and played one season.
Yeah.
And Torchio moved in the fall of 2015, and the other guys in the league had other things, softball, work and life in general. They just haven't been active since.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering what kind of happened to him. I figured maybe there was some sort of like their death kind of like ran into your guys' birth. Sometimes that happens with some leagues because I think Atlanta there's a social league down there, and then like they're still around, but they really like went downhill after Wiffle Atlanta came up. But
Right.
I was curious about it was kind of like the same thing there. Okay.
No, like it really like it didn't. They're our league didn't have anything to do with them not being active anymore. It's just they had other factors that came up.
So, like the CWBC, you guys participated in the NWLA event by participating in the 2016 regionals. I know that you were not there, but
Actually,
I screwed that up completely. I'm sorry, Josh.
Actually, I was there.
Okay, I didn't see you. Is the thing we even played you guys? I don't remember meeting you. I don't think. Did we meet?
Yeah.
I think we did.
God, now I feel really bad. I thought we didn't meet.
No,
I don't remember playing. I don't remember that at all. Yeah.
I think we played you guys like the last game of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
The last game. Yeah.
And by the last game of the day, I was pretty much done. And to be honest with you, I really shouldn't have been playing in that tournament because no joke, I had a stroke less than a month before that happened.
Oh damn!
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I had.
It was hot too.
I was in a hospital for a week, lost 20 pounds, but I was determined to make it there because I wanted to go check it out.
Yeah.
Right.
And so. It's not that I'm not a fan of the NWLA. I am. I like the format of what they try to do. I'm just not a huge fan of how they play the game. Because from my experience being there, and then from some of the games I've watched on their YouTube channel, it's basically strikeouts and walks.
Pretty much, or an occasional dinger.
Did someone just nail the NWLA? Did that happen?
I mean, with the occasional offense, the occasional hit, very little defense, and then the other thing that bugged me about how they do it is the time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we played 5 games that day, and I don't think we had a game make it out of the third inning.
I think ours did.
We had like one or
two. Our game may have made it to the 4th.
Yeah.
Right.
So, no game that we played, and very little of any of the games I saw that day, made it to even the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that a lot of teams up there, it's almost by design. Let's try to get a lead early.
Yeah.
And
it's very important to get first blood.
Yeah, we'll get a run in the first, and then we'll just throw it as hard as we can. If we hit the strike zone, great. But if we walk a bunch of guys, great. It don't matter, as long as we run the clock out. And I'm just not a big fan of that. And I particularly was entertained by, and I think wiffle ball should be fun. It should be a good time, which is what we really stress in our league. And again, I know it sounds like it's a knock on them. I'm really not trying to knock them, but to each their own. It's not the brand of wiffle ball that we like. Yeah. To me, wiffle ball is mixing. I mean, you can mix speeds up a little bit, but just rear back and throwing a straight dart. That's boring. Yeah. When there's no offense and there's barely any defense. Because the first 2 years of our league, we had that format where you could throw it as hard as you could, and the league was basically dominated by 2 teams, and it was actually Torchio and Kevin Haynes, the guys from the Wiffleball Club, that came to me. They were one of the dominant teams that second year. Especially Torchio. Torchio is a phenomenal.
Yeah, he doesn't even have that much heat, but it's insane the movement he gets on that pitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's no. He must have picked up some heat after you saw him.
Okay. Well, this would have been the next year, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
played him in
he
2013.
threw it hard and it had some really wicked movement with control.
Yeah.
They came to me and said, you should really consider making this a medium speed league. And I'd been thinking about it, but I knew it would be an unpopular decision amongst some teams. And I knew that I would potentially taking away an advantage for a team. But then it came down to what's best for the two teams or what's best for the league. So the decision was made starting in the 2015 season that the league would be a medium speed league.
Yeah.
And it's the best decision we've made because offense went up, defense became more of a factor, and it really leveled the playing field amongst all teams. So, I mean, because we still have teams that are really good and win a lot of games, but even the worst team in our league is still competitive with our best team.
Yeah.
And that to me, that's what it's all about.
Okay, so in a nutshell there, I'm sensing you're not a big fan of the NWLA tournament. So I think we were talking a couple of months ago, me and Andrew, and you said that you're in the process of starting up your own tournament of sorts for next year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, what I like to do is start a yearly tournament here in Cincinnati where we play where we have the league, which is River City Sports Complex, and almost like an NWA setup, but we're not expecting league teams. Which, by the way, going back to the NWA for a second, some of those teams to call them a league team is very subjective. But anyway, and by your laughter, I know you know what I'm talking about. Let's get together for 2 weeks and call ourselves a league so we can take a team up there. But anyway,
oh man, there's so much I could say, and I've already said that. You're baiting.
Anyway, so yeah, I'd like to have a big tournament. Played by our rules, which again, our rules do not favor one team. Our rules favor everybody, which is how it should be.
Yeah,
agreed.
And because it's no fun to show up to a tournament knowing that there's two teams that are probably going to win it, and my team has no shot.
Yeah,
I like to show up to the tournament thinking that every team has got the shot.
Did you play in the Huntington Wiffleball League in 2016 or something? Because I swear to God, it's like you're talking about the Huntington Wiffleball League in 2016.
There's some Kool-Aid around here somewhere. I know it.
But as far as that tournament, I'm still working on the details. It's going to be. I know this. It'll be at the end of April. It'll be the last Saturday in April, which I believe is the 28th.
Okay.
2018. It'll be a one-day tournament. The Sunday will be a rain-out makeup day. But I'm still trying to iron out all the details, and I'll post all the information about it on our Facebook page.
Cool.
Probably after the first of the year.
That sounds great, man. Definitely do. We'll share and help you get the word around, and definitely, hopefully, get at least a couple teams come up and play.
Yeah, because from what I've measured out, I can do 4 fields. I can probably have up to 20 teams. I'm thinking probably $150 pay-in. Champions get $300, double your money.
Nice.
T-shirts, trophy. I mean, I want it to be nice. I mean, that's the one thing about GCWL is I try to make it nice and first class, and I'm a perfectionist, so I try to make sure our fields look great every week. And so
the only thing I ask of you is just so we feel welcome. Find new and creative ways to screw us like the NWLA does. That way we know we're home.
It's what we're used to. We have a standard, Jim.
Well, I tell you what I'll do for you guys. I will personally umpire each one of your games.
Make sure to screw us out of very important calls where it comes down to the wire. That's what we really like.
If all the close calls, I will be distracted by something else going on in other fields.
That sounds great. Yeah. We have 0 hotheads in our league, so that sounds like a very good circumstance for us.
No one has ever argued in our league ever. Oh man.
Well, just one thing, me and my friend Mark and my friend Will, who both guys play in the league, we laugh about all the time when we talk about the NWLA is, I can't remember the name of the team, but, we said something to him just in joking about the game, and the kid got so mad, he literally screamed at us and said, "We want to win." And we just kind of looked at him and like, okay.
Was that us?
Good for you. Good for you, dude.
We learned like game one. Okay, we're not going to be winning.
Yeah, like I said, there must have been MLB scouts hiding in the woods that we didn't know about. So,
all right. Well, Jim, Ohio has like pockets of just heavy populations with Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. There's only a couple leagues. I mean, living in Ohio, what gives with that? And why does the state with so many tournaments and hosted the NWLA Tournament for 4 years not have that many leagues? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know of any leagues in Columbus. I don't know of any leagues in Cleveland. I don't know of any leagues in Dayton.
Nope.
I just think it's for any league, somebody has to have the time to do it. It's almost like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And that's what it was with us. I found a place where we could have the league, and then word of mouth started spreading through social media, and we went from 6 teams in 2013 to 12 teams in 2014, and then starting in 2015 is when we started having the summer and the fall league. So for the last 3 years, 15, 16, and 17, we've had 10 teams in the summer and the fall. So and again, it's all of, I think if somebody wants to start a league in their town, then they can't sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. They just have to go out and do it themselves, which is basically what I did. Just started it and people started showing up.
Yeah, that's one thing everything has changed in like the past 20 years, but the one thing that has not gotten easier is starting a league, at all. Okay, so something you kind of touched on earlier when you were kind of describing your all's format and everything, but there's only a handful of medium pitch leagues out there that I'm aware of. And it's something that we've been very interested in our league as far as like kind of talking about 2018 and beyond, fast pitch, we've been there and done that. And Anthony kind of came in during our last fast pitch season, saw what that was like, saw our slow pitch season, and he's been here for our past season where we kind of like alternated between the two. And we don't, just coming down to it, we don't have the talent to have enough talent to spread across as many teams as we have, whatever that's going to be from year to year, for each team to have an ace. And it's only 1 year it happened, and it was a complete farce. It was random. And slow pitch, while really fun, it does kind of get stagnant after a while. I mean, even I get bored hitting bombs. But so medium pitch, medium pitch kind of gets a, I don't know, it kind of gets a look for me as like maybe that'd be a way to make the game a little interesting here. But so my question is, how do you enforce it, and how do you do that without the use of radar guns?
Well, how we enforce it is I go to each team and I almost basically put the fear of God in them that I will come down and strike upon them if they go above throwing it too hard. Because I guarantee you, if you talk to each one of the teams in my league, they will tell you I've reminded them more than once that we are a medium speed league. We've actually got it in our rules that if a team suspects a guy is throwing too hard, they have every right to call him out on it. And if he continues to throw too hard, then that's when I have to step in. But for the most part, every team in the league respects the rule. Every once in a while, you get a guy that, that tries to push it a little too much. And that's just it. It's not hard at all to tell when a guy is throwing as hard as he can.
Yeah.
It's not hard. When you can hear that ball come in, he's throwing it too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what I like to point out to teams too that think that throwing as hard as you can should be how we do it. The best team, one of the better teams we've had in the league, is a team called the Force.
4-time champion.
We nicknamed them the Boy Band because they were a bunch of young guys, good-looking dudes who showed up in matching uniforms. So we called them the Boy Band. But anyway, they were a really good team. They played in the league for 3 years. They stepped out of the league this year. They had too much going on. But their pitcher was this guy named Mark. Did not throw hard at all. But he had incredible control and incredible movement on his pitches. I guarantee you none of his pitches, if I had a radar gun, none of his pitches went above 35 miles an hour. And to me, that's a true wiffle ball pitcher right there.
Yeah.
When you can throw it like that and when you don't have to rear back and throw it as hard as you can, when you can throw with great movement and great control, that's wiffle ball to me.
Nice.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite pitchers. We've got a couple of guys like that in our league. Rick Patterson won, and actually Andrew Westcott. He doesn't get a lot of praise for pitching, but he pitches well in slow pitch in our formats, and he's got a lot of movement and control on his, and actually does really well. So I hear you on that, man. Control is the main thing to have in a format like that.
Now I've thought about maybe, and this year I've found some portable radar guns that can be set up on a tripod.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about going that route and setting them up near our strike zones and then establishing a
speed limit. Yeah.
But I'm still on the fence about that. One thing that I thought about too is maybe shrinking our strike zone a little bit. Cutting down on that a little bit, because that way it would be less tempting for somebody to try and throw it too hard.
Paint the corners.
Because it's very rare that a guy can throw hard with control.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
The ones that do are the ones who dominate a league.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that won our championship the first 2 years, 13 and 14, stopped playing in the league.
Yeah.
Because I basically took away their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It was no knock on them. It was the other dominant team in the league came to me and said, this needs to be a medium speed league or you're going to start losing teams because people are going to start having fun. Stop having fun because nobody wants to show up and get their ass whooped every week.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And again, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while I've got to step in and go, hey, you need to dial it down a little bit. But 99% of the time, every pitcher in the league respects the rules. So it's worked out very well.
That's cool.
Now, you guys this year started streaming some of your games live, which I would watch like they were a romantic comedy, just drooling on them because we weren't playing, like I said, but once a month. So. But I mean, how do you guys feel about that? And how hard or easy has it been to do that thus far? And we've been really wanting to do that. I think we've live streamed some championship games a few minutes and done some commentary and even live streamed something going into NWLA last year. But I mean, how are you guys feeling about that? Your live stream going forward?
That's basically another one of my ideas. I'm using my own phone. And I found an iPhone tripod, and this year I've put it on top of zip tied it to a ladder to get a better camera angle.
Dedication right there.
But yeah, I mean it's fun and what I try to do is I try to get each team in the league on their one, each team at least one game on there during the season. That way I'm not monopolizing everybody or one team in particular. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to go back and rewatch. I know myself, some of the games that I've played in, I will go back and watch, especially when I'm pitching, to kind of scout myself to see what I'm doing wrong. Or if I'm in a slump, I'll go back and rewatch. hitting.
I don't know if I do that.
I wish I'd love to be able to do all the games, but
that's rough.
My cell phone bill is high enough right now.
Oh yeah.
So
it's the live streaming or video games is a thing of.
It's becoming a standard.
And I'll tell you what, like Josh and I played on a team together in 2016 called Make Wiffleball Great Again, and which we spent more time fucking off and having fun than we did actually playing it, and still come damn close and had a chance to win the championship at the end of the year.
But baby. He
would make just montages of our home runs, and still to this day in 2017 in November, if I'm on a thinking chair, and I know you guys know where I'm talking about,
yeah.
I'll find myself just searching that montage and just saying, "Damn, that was fun." But we have that ability to do that because we have a great guy that spends a lot of time in front of the computer doing that for us. So it's definitely a way for the future. I like it.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few of those montages. Those were pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Josh is a wizard when it comes to those things. I tell you, we're lucky to have him, really.
Well, my next question was going to be, how do you take your streaming to new heights? But you said with a ladder earlier, so I'm going to move on to the next question. So I try to follow as many leagues as I can. Do you follow any leagues, and were there any leagues that kind of like inspired you guys when you were starting out, or kind of give you ideas on how to push things forward now? I mean, what leagues do you follow, man?
Well, I mean, obviously we follow you guys.
I'm sorry.
And and I honestly feel bad that we've not been able to get out there to one of your tournaments.
I know.
We've talked about it. Me and a few of my friends, we've talked about it. Wanting to go out there and participate in one of your tournaments, but nobody's schedule can ever get in line.
It's tough.
So we follow you guys. I follow. Obviously, I follow Potomac. What they do out there. Like I said, again, super jealous of their website and how professional it looks. I started through NWLA. Started following some more leagues. Leroy Wiffleball League. I followed them a little bit more this year.
It's a good league.
The league up in Minnesota. Followed them a little bit more. I've got 3 children and 3 stepchildren, so my schedule's pretty busy.
You are a busy man. You are a very busy man. I understand. I got you.
Very busy.
All right.
So, I try to peep in on as much leagues as I can, just to kind of see how everybody else is doing things, and look for other things. Look for other things that we can do, maybe. Because every year I try to do something a little different with our league. Just kind of mix it up a little bit.
Love it. Just
to kind of keep things fresh. And, one thing that we instituted a couple years ago that everybody's enjoyed is the black bat, which is basically a Louisville Slugger replica baseball bat that's a wiffle ball bat.
Been there.
And we do that in the 3rd inning.
Nice.
3rd inning is the black bat inning, and if you hit the ball square with that black bat, it will go a long way. So we use it in the 3rd inning, and then it's mandatory use in extra innings, just so we can come to a winner sooner. So stuff like that.
So what can we expect from the Greater Cincinnati Wiffleball League in 2018? Anything new? Anything exciting? Give me some kind of incentive to drive my big fat ass 2 hours and participate.
Well, as far as something new is, we've always just done 3 fields every year. This year I've done the measurements, and we can do a 4th field. So, and what I try to do with the fields is I try to mix up the dimensions. I like a quirky field.
Okay.
I like it, because I think your standard wiffle ball field is about 70, 75 down the lines, and excuse me, and about 90 to 100 to center.
Yeah.
What I try to do is I try to mix it up a little bit. I like each field to be different. And I'm going to continue with that this year, or in 2018. This year I added the big wall, a bigger wall, on two of the fields, 10-foot high wall. that came into play a few times. So I'll probably continue with that in 2018. As far as gameplay, the rules pretty much going to be the same. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's really not standard operating procedure for us in 2018 compared to 2017.
Man, I like it. Yeah, if you're our fields, we use a fencing we got from eJourney to Health, and it's kind of like it's like 4 feet high, and you just try to make a kind of like an oval in the outfield there a little bit. And I think our line, it's about 65 down the line.
Oh, wow.
And about 120 something like that in the center. We take it down to 65 on each side and then drag it out as far as we can get it. And I'm like, boom, that's where center field is. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's not an exact science, but when we do Hallow Wiffle, we use a softball field, and it's great because we kind of like in the corners we can just use that fence, and we don't have to worry about putting any fence up. And then around the rest of the perimeter, we just sort of build off of the fence. But then we got the idea to use the backstop, which is like 40 feet high. And it was like, we'll just make that left field or right field, the whole thing, the fence. And it pisses off like half the people, but if you can hit a home run over that kind of fence, I mean, you hear about it all the way across the field. So, yeah, I wish that was something we were able to do more often, was mix up field dimensions like that, give a little personality.
Yeah, like I said, River City Sports Complex is a softball park that have been great to us every year. It's one of their softball fields that we set up on.
Yeah,
and I use the existing fence for part of our fence.
Smart way to do it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll set it up. It'll be their existing fence will be left field. It'll be center field. It'll be right field. So because that way it cuts down on the amount of fencing I have to set up.
Yeah.
Because every Monday, because we play on Monday nights. I get there about 3:30 every Monday, and I got a couple friends that try to come out early and help me set up, but if I'm doing all the setup by myself, it takes me a good 2.5 hours to set it up. And thankfully, at the end of the night, the teams that are still there will help me tear things down.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I say it's a part-time job for me, it literally is a part-time job for me, because I am there on average every Monday from 3:30 to 11:30.
Yeah, dude, I feel you 1,000% on that.
Yeah. That's
what it was like when I was a commissioner as well, and I had help, so I can't imagine if it was just me on my own. So yeah, but we're getting to the portion now for social media questions, and then any other questions that I can kind of think of here. So Bryce Clark, he's on our organizing committee. He had several questions. Some of them we've kind of already answered, and he had one that I thought was kind of interesting. Do you have any suggestions for our league?
Quit crying about the speed limit and man up and accept medium speed.
No. More consideration. Because right now we're in the middle of we had 5 teams last year. We're really struggling to kind of bounce back. We're used to having 8 teams, and we've never been able to break through that ceiling. And we've had different formats and stuff. So I really am. That's kind of the alternate purpose for all these different guests, is to kind of get some fresh ideas outside of the area that we're in now.
Well, I mean, the use of the black bat in our league can be a game changer, because a lot of teams will score most of their runs in that third inning.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, stuff like that, mix it up a little. Do you guys do 5 innings or 6 innings?
We do 5. We used to use the black bat too. We used it in 2012 and 2013, but then the pitching we kind of reached that equilibrium to where the pitching was not matching the batting at all, so we took away the black bat to kind of balance things out, and then we had far superior pitching from the top 5 percentile, and then we went to slow pitch instead of considering the black bat, because I forget, we've had 400% more home runs with the black bat than we did with the yellow bat. We still score a lot of runs with the yellow bat too. So
yeah, I think what I'll do during the season, if I feel like a particular field is giving up too many runs, if teams are scoring a lot of runs on a particular field, I'll make the field bigger.
Yeah.
And Kevin Haynes still helps me out with statistics. And Kevin can tell me, because I'll punch in the numbers on the spreadsheet, send it to Kevin, then he sends it back with all the calculations. Kevin can break down for me how many runs I've scored on each field that we have, and so I'll look at that each week, and if I try not to make the dimensions too small in our league, but not too big, because I don't want it to become glorified batting practice. I like the defense to actually have to play defense.
Yeah.
Then we just do 4 guys in the field, pitcher and 3 fielders. We'll let in a pinch. It's required you have 4, but in a pinch we'll allow 3 if you can't help it and you can't find a 4th. But to me, that type of play is what wiffle should be, and it shouldn't just be strikeouts and walks.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I would say this: if you guys, you guys' dimensions sound really small.
Yeah, I mean, we made them smaller because basically because it accommodated the fencing. I don't know if they made the dimensions deeper last year or not. I did not run the league. I wasn't on a committee or anything. I kind of had to step down, so they may have made them deeper. If they did, I didn't really notice. But I know we've never went deeper than 75 for the.
I mean, if you're primarily playing slow pitch, I would make dimensions like. I mean, because I've had in our league, I've had left field as far away as 90.
Damn, man!
Yeah. and guys are still hitting home runs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
and hitting home runs with the yellow bat.
Yeah, if you get a piece of it, yeah, it's gone no matter what.
Yeah, so if you guys are going to maintain and still be strictly slow pitch, I'd move those fences back a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a very worthy suggestion there. I'm hoping we could maybe try to do something with medium, because we've done fast, we've done slow. They both have some major drawbacks as well as advantages. In 2013, our talent wasn't high enough to pitch really fast, so everyone was kind of on a medium level. And that was a really fun year. We had some really good pitchers. But I don't know if we can do the whole honor system in our league. We have the biggest rule book in the nation for a reason. So,
yeah, I've seen you guys' rule book.
It is long. It's like 7 pages. Yeah. Oh God. But yeah, maybe there's some way to do that, because like there's only like 2 other leagues I'm aware of that do it, and I'm so jealous because like the level of competition, like that is the true equalizing thing for competition right there. Slow pitch does it, and it's a lot of fun. But year in, year out, it's a hard sell, I think, because there's already slow pitch softball, and a lot of leagues have like, it's like if you continue to hit home runs after like a certain cap, it counts as an out. I mean, it's just like it really just kind of detains from the game a little bit. But yeah, those are good suggestions.
Yeah, I mean now we do have a cap as far as number of runs scored in a half inning. We set that at 10.
We do the same thing.
And then we do have a overall run rule. I think it's 20 after 3, 15 after 4, 10 after 5. If you're ahead by that much. And the one thing I've stressed to every team in our league is, we self-umpire. And because we self-umpire, I've been able to keep the prices down to the league. So. I've warned everybody that if we have to go to umpires, the cost of this league is going to go up.
Oh yeah,
4 times, because the umpires will become the single most expensive part of the league.
Yeah.
And because every once in a while you get a guy that wants to try to push the limit and wants to throw a little harder, but for the most part, and knock on wood, most of the pitchers in our league respect the rules. So
that's cool, man. All right, man. Really, the only question I had just kind of popped in my head here. I ask a lot of commissioners this. your league's it's slightly more recent than ours. What advice can you give to anybody out there, especially in Ohio? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you have the London Wiffleball Tournament, you have the Springfield Wiffleball Tournament, you have the NWLA that was there a while, tons of population pockets, a lot of open space in a lot of cases, flat land too. So I mean, it's just what advice can you give to anybody that might be out there listening, considering starting the league up? What things have you learned that you wish you would have known from day one?
Well, I know this: if you want to run your own wiffle league, be prepared to put a lot of time into it. You have to have at least, especially if you're playing weekly, from spring until through the summer, through the fall. Be prepared to put 10 to 20 hours a week of your time into this, because if you don't, your league's not going to be successful. Also, find a spot, park that you, or if you have your own space, to partner up with, because that makes it really easy. Because if you're having to move the league around every week, that can get old and hard. I got lucky with River City. They have been a great partner for us. Not too many leagues can say that they're able to play football at 10:30 at night and have lights.
Yeah, for sure.
We have lights every week, and it's been a godsend for us. Because sometimes we have games that will not be done until almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I hate that, because that means I don't get home until after midnight.
Tearing down and everything.
My fiance hates that. But I mean, if you love wiffle ball, I've always loved wiffle ball. I enjoy it. I enjoy the competition of it. But what I've enjoyed the most, and the reason why I've continued doing it, is I enjoy how much the guys enjoy playing. I don't know how many times I've had guys come up to me and thank me for all the work I put in and the effort, and that to me is the best thing out of the league.
Yeah.
For me, that's the reason why I keep doing it. Because trust me, and I know you've probably been there before. There are times
you just want to walk away.
I am so done with this.
Yep.
And what's funny is I get there when it gets to be September. Mm-hmm. It's like, God, I can't wait for this to be over.
The burnout is real.
Yeah, and then my fiance, she'll attest to this. Almost every October, I'm like, I'm not doing this next year. I'm done. And then January rolls around, February starts rolling around, and I started thinking about it. And then I started thinking about how to do the schedule. Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about what equipment do I need? What equipment do I need to update? Mm-hmm. And the setup of the league, the schedule part of it, all that stuff I enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy that part. I'd love there to be, and I'm gonna. It's my goal within the next 10 years is to get a permanent wiffle ball park built. Mm-hmm. Because to my knowledge, there is no municipal, government, county, whatever you want to call it, privately owned wiffle ball park in the country, other than a few fields here or there.
Yeah, not owned by. I think Kalamazoo, the Flesher Fields and Kalamazoo Park, I'm pretty sure those were built by the city, but I don't know if they're still owned by the city. I don't know if someone bought them out. I'd
love for there to be like a smaller version of a softball park. That is, it's literally a wiffle ball park. Yeah. Wiffle ball dimensions. It can be used for t-ball. It can be used for kickball. I think there would be teams leagues that could be formed off of it. It just has to be built.
Yeah.
And so.
They're thinking big, man. Everyone's all like, I want to build my own miniature MLB stadium. It's been done and done and done and done. I like that idea. That's a big idea, man. That's a tournament attractor right there. That could really generate some revenue for an area.
A lot of tournaments, like I said, again, Little League, kickball. Kickball is big in Cincinnati.
It's here too.
So, that's I'd like before my football time is done, I'd like to be able to get a local government involved in a project like that. So we'll see.
Go for it, man. Yeah, that would be a first. I'm not aware of any like collection of wiffle ball fields in one spot like that. That would be insane. You see softball fields like that all the time. Right before you get into Columbus, if you're approaching from the south, right before you hit like the inner belt, on the right side you'll see just like I don't know how many softball fields over there. It's like at least 10, just all grouped together like that. And I've never thought of that until you said that. I was like, that would be cool to have, because there's tournaments that are kind of outgrowing their venues, like the Travis Roy tournament in Vermont. I mean, they have Little Fenway and Little Wrigley there, but I mean, that's 2 fields, and they max out at 24 teams, and they're wanting to raise more money. Having something like that that's definitely food for thought. All right, that's all.
Well, the lottery idea, people always say, if I won the lottery, I'd do this.
Yeah.
My lottery idea would be to build an indoor wiffle ball park.
Oh, excuse me, I need to change my pants.
Yeah. And
that'd be great.
And have 6 fields. 6 fields based off of 6 major league parks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, have like a sports bar type setup. Mm-hmm. That's the lottery idea.
It's a lot of money. You'd have to maybe win the lottery twice to facilitate something like that, man. But
I think it could be done for a couple million.
Yeah, man.
So
dream big. If you're going to dream big. Yeah,
exactly.
That's a dynamite idea, man. If you ever, I'll keep my eye on the news to see if you ever win it, so I'll know what to expect.
Yeah, I was going to. If you hear of somebody hitting the Powerball in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky, call me. I'll let you know this.
All right, man. Well, that was a lot of fun and very informative. I don't know if have you ever been on a podcast, Wiffleball podcast before?
Nope, first one. You popped my cherry on this one.
Yay! So. All right, Jim. Well, it's been a lot of fun. Next episode, we'll continue our Outside the League series with episode 35. When we talk to Sam Beeson and Mark Maynard, who run the Amy for Africa tournament in Asheville, Kentucky. It's a great cause, a well-run little event that has grown a lot in a short run. Should be a very interesting interview. Episode 36, we'll be talking to Tim Stewart, the tournament runner for the National Wiffle League and up-and-coming tournament circuit for the Southern United States. And for a complete list of guests, you can go to the website where you can see who we'll have up through episode 40. As always, we're working to make the podcast more entertaining and accessible. You can listen to all our episodes at our website, huntingtonwiffleball.com, and then click on Media and then Podcasts. You can also listen to our episodes on Podomatic at huntingtonwiffle.podomatic.com and download the episodes or listen to each episode using the podcast app for iOS. Listen to us in your car, during a warm bath, while you're taking a shit, or making sweet love. I don't give a damn. Just listen. Anthony, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. But now it's time to go. Signing off for Anthony and Jim, I'm Josh Smith. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.